So, second league here, playing through with Grixis. Some of the advantages to Grixis over like Jund that we just played is you've got both threats that are harder to deal with. So instead of just like throwing threats, throwing metaphorical darts at a dartboard and seeing what sticks, here we're kind of jamming a threat and making it stick. So between like Snap, Thoughtseize, Snap, Inquisition is extra ways to pull removal out of hand. Stub, Snap, Stub is additional ways to interact with our opponent's removal. And Gurmag Angler that just gets to dodge like half the removal in Modern. Dodge Fatal Push, dodge Abrupt Decay, Eliminate, Skyclave, Apparition, all that stuff. We just get to like jam our threats down and kind of give our opponents something that they have to deal with very quickly. With the addition of Street Wraith in these lists, we get a little more of an explosiveness out of our Shadow that Jund often doesn't have. So, whereas Jund is often going to be like turn 1, Hand Disruption, turn 2, Tarmogoyf, turn 3, like a 3/3 Shadow, something like that. We can often get our Shadows up to like 3/3, 5/5 on turn 2, potentially turn 3 with this list. And just go ahead and add that extra oomph. Kind of shorten that clock a little bit. So for the main deck, the big test pieces right now are like 2 copies of Magmatic Channeler, which have been really good in testing so far. So I'm interested to see how they continue to do going forward. In the sideboard, we've got like 2 copies of Disdainful Stroke for the Titan decks, Tron, E-Tron. A copy of Cling to Dust for not only like Dredge, but it's great life gain against Burn, Recurable. Just helps kind of bridge that early game threat into late game, close out the game. Copy of Damping Sphere for Tron as well. And then cards we saw in Jund that carry over, like Nihil Spellbomb, Kozilek's Return, K-Command. Just great sweeper effects. Ways to deal with the graveyard. Deal with like troublesome zones and creatures, permanents that we couldn't deal with otherwise. So let's update the stream title before I forget. Big Dumb Fish can't be killed. Big Dumb Fish can't be killed a lot of the times. And we will go ahead and jump into our first league. I guess second league now. But I think if I had to like rank my favoritism for Shadow decks, Grixis is typically at the top of the pile for me. It's like the gameplay and style that I enjoy the most out of Shadow archetypes, even if it's not necessarily the best positioned. Sticking with Grixis, always. That's why Grixis will always be my choice when it comes to like big paper events. It's the one that I want to sign out. Like Grixis is where it's at. I just feel like wins with Grixis are way more rewarding than wins with like any other Shadow variant. It was like when Rakdos was hot, we played a lot of Rakdos, but you had a lot of wins that were just like turn 3 Blood Moon your opponent post board. And that's kind of But with Grixis, you lose a lot of those cheese games. You gotta fight for everything. So, pretty easy keep here on the back of turn 2 Gurmag Angler. There's some consideration for playing basic island instead of one of my fetches, because if I want to like double scour into Angler. I can just go basic island scour, untap, scour off island, fetch up swamp, play Gurmag, and I just like don't have to worry about losing life very much. Since I don't know what I'm up against yet. So like if I could just get down a turn 2 5/5 without having to lose much life, that's kind of nice. Thoughtseize is a little rough. You really hope to see an Inquisition there so Gurmag can just dodge it. Just got my Chinese Dismember looking good. I feel like I've seen a Chinese Dismember, but I can't remember for sure. Chinese Witch Member. Classic. I think I'm going to lead by scouring myself again. Because if I hit another copy of Gurmag Angler, I'd probably rather play that out than Thoughtseize. Rin, Lily. This, could be a little rough for us. Tad. But like a Snapcaster would be a really good draw. Inquisition's not the worst. Pure gas for opponent, indeed. Like, we do really need to find, like, a Snapcaster. Like, Shadow and Gurmag are good, but just, like, Snap dying to the Lily is rough. Alright. Crocus is a pretty good pickup for them. So, best draw for us would be Gurmag Angler off the top. It's not a Gurmag Angler. See. Can't play Chinese decks because I don't know every card by heart. Although I started learning Chinese for my girlfriend. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, that's a pretty good reason to learn Chinese. I feel like I know the art for the most part, so I can recognize a lot of it, but so we've got to ditch this forest and something else. Forest and a bolt, sure. So there's getting back Croxa. Bloodbraid. Assume it's Croxa because of the way they tapped. Looks like they went red, red, black, black. Yeah. Alright, so let's ditch Stubborn Denial. I'll hold on to the Dismember here, because if I draw into that Gurmag Angler, I need to be able to fight with this Croxa inside of combat. Alright. Game 2 against Jund. I want any number of mana leak. Probably fine, right? Like, just really good for tempoing out early planeswalkers. Actually playing different set of art gives you an edge because your opponent gets mad every time. I mean, the only varying arts I get upset about, it's not even really like upset as much as like frustrated with my opponent, is if they have like white border and black border mixed around Tron lands, and if they have that damned mine that looks like a tower. Oh, I hate that one so much. Alright. This could be one too many Gurmag Anglers. So, minor detail, I'm bobbling myself once on my turn. I know I'm against the Thoughtseize deck, but if I draw a land, or if I see a land, I don't want to have to shuffle it away to like soft stub something here. I could play Gurmag and shrink the Tarmogoyf, but then just Gurmag is like straight up dying to Liliana. So I think I'd rather just slow roll for a turn. Got Mana Leak, I've got Soft Stub. Hoping I get to use this Mana Leak this turn so I can just like untap, play Gurmag plus Shadow. It's going to give me the opportunity. Does mean I get hit by a pretty thick Goyf here. Get rid of artifact, instant, land. What do we got? Bloodbraid into something. What is that something? Ooh, maybe they go for like a Chandra Tortured Defiance. That'd be pretty sweet. Liliana of the Veil. Well, I'd much rather you hit that one than hit like a another seasoned Pyromancer. Is there any way I can blow out my opponent here? Let's say I attack with Shadow. They double block with Goyf and Bloodbraid. I cling Liliana. Goyf becomes a 3/4. So it doesn't do enough there. So if that's the case, I'll cling pre-combat. So if I hit like a fetch land, then I can attack him with the Shadow. Wagner, my old love, Grixis. How's Grixis going? Well, we're currently in game 2 of match 1. Our opponents won game 1. Depending on what they have, we could be in an okay spot here. We could be in a terrible spot. Who knows? I don't think they've got double bolt. Alright, so like I want to get Bauble in my yard for Gurmag. Like to cast the second Gurmag. So if I'm gonna do that, let's go ahead and Bauble. And then we'll crack him with both of our gentlemen here. So they have to chump block one of these. Sure. Fatal Push would have been a lot nicer there. I guess I could have, like, Bloodbraid into something that we have to Stubborn Denial. Like, Bloodbraid into Liliana would be lethal. Remy Carroll, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic, what is it, Thursday? Thursday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Plague Engineer is fine. Name Zombie. Alright. So we can go Kate Command, kill Plague Engineer, make them discard. That puts instant creature in the yard. Goyf becomes a 3/4. If they discard Ren, something like that, could become a 4/5. Still think it's fine. Now, am I attacking all out because they have to chump 2 creatures? Yes. Yes. Or am I saving back like a Gurmag Angler? I guess I'm saving back like a Gurmag. Just so I'm not dead to a random like Liliana, or not Liliana, Bloodbraid into something off the top. No. Bad Jund opponent. And that's kind of one of the reasons right there that we hold back Gurmag instead of Shadow. They just have so many more ways of killing this than they do killing this. Ren, sure. Ren, punch me in the face. Respect, opponent. Alright, game 3. Is there anything I'm changing up? I wonder how much better K return gets here if we saw Seasoned Pyromancer, the Pyromancer Elemental tokens, Bloodbraid Elf, Plague Engineer. Like, is that worth a chance? Or like a flyer pick here? Probably not, but I think it's least worth thinking about it. Gurmag casting cost is like a protective shield around him, Fatal Push, Blast Zone, Abrupt Decay. It really is. Delve was like a messed up ability, right? Like, what if I told you you could cast this really big, crazy good spell that dodges, like, most everything your opponent's trying to do to interact with it? but you get the added benefit of like getting under things like Disdainful Stroke and Mana Leak, because it often just costs you like 1 mana to cast it. Alright, so I chose not to Thoughtseize on my last turn. Mainly because I wanted to hold up Stubborn Denial in case they had like a Renin 6 or something here. I feel like I'd rather interact with that. Alright. Couple extra lands aren't the worst thing in the world. They're not really the most desired thing, but something about beggars and choosers. Alright, so we'll take Seasoned Pyromancer here. I feel like I can beat everything else in hand. I've got Push for Goyf, Stub for Liliana, or Terminate. 2 threats to fight through the extra removal. Plague Engineer is not the most menacing thing in the world. Sure. Naming. You got it. Alright, so I could play Death Shadow into the Plague Engineer. It dies. I turn on Revolt for Fatal Push. It's like a solid plan, right? So they've got 1 unknown card in hand. If I play out a Shadow, it does not have Ferocious because of the Plague Engineer. I could Fetch Shock, push the Plague Engineer, play out a Shadow, hold up Stubborn Denial for either Terminate or Liliana. I think I like that. Like, I don't get to push the Goyf, but I do just get to, like, play out a protected Shadow plus double threat next turn. Let's go Fetch Shock, Fatal Push, your extremely intimidating Plague Engineer. Play out Shadow, say go. Windmill Slam that Liliana. Just throw it on over. Every time. Thank you so much. How often are your Jund opponents just like, I need the value. I need to feel alive. I don't think I really want to go down to 6. Not that I think my opponent has double bolt, but just because like there's not really a reason to give them that out. Here you go, opponent. What is thy response? Okay. Maelstrom Pulse was not on my radar there. Good to know. Good to know. Like, every time there's a Maelstrom Pulse, you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's a... Oh, opponent. They blow us out, we blow them right back. Wait. So I just want to, like, go ahead and flip this bolt into something better, or try to. I think I do. Yeah. Let's do this. Nice blood crypt you got there, opponent. MTGOC's double shadow, then put the Maelstrom Pulse on top. They really do, don't they? Like, to me, I think it's Magic Online is obsessed with creating drama. I think they just, like, have to have some sort of drama in place at all times. Like, oh yeah, it would be really good if your opponent top decked like the natural third Tron land here. So we're going to do that for them. Or it would be really unfortunate if this or this happened. And then they do it. And you're like, well, you didn't have to. Bloodbraid into Fatal Push. Okay. Like this. Magic Online wants to create drama. So that's an online Raging Ravine next turn. So then the hope here is my opponent fires up Raging Ravine, attacks, with the idea that I have to chump block the Raging Ravine. Or they draw Liliana. One of the two. There were limited options. And Croxa. Okay. So, Cling to Dust. Nope. Pulse was indeed brutal. Was indeed. But, like, I'm never going to play around a card that's a one of, for the most part. I don't think it goes above a one of in any Jund list. They had to have it in their top 12 cards. And I think a lot of Jund lists like don't even play a Maelstrom Pulse right now. I don't think it's universal by any means. Yeah, one of in 65% of decks. Yep. So I think it was fine to not play around. Confirmed Pulse Boomer card. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think if you're playing Jund nowadays and you're not playing, like, 4-season Pyromancers and Croxas and Clothis, like, you're considered a boomer. At least that's what it's felt like on the other side. Okay. Turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Channeler. Got a Dismember in here somewhere. Definitely tell the Jund player's age range depending on their card selection. Opponent was easily 30 plus years old. That's pretty funny, actually. As soon as you see Maelstrom Pulse, you get those opponents that were like, back in my day, I was blood braiding into Maelstrom Pulses and sprouting Thrynaxes before it was cool. Explore. So, probably against Amulet Titan. Maybe Scape Shift, but I think for the most part, Amulet is the more expected. We've got the Primeval Titan. My friend still proudly plays his Bloodbraid Elf Tarmogoyf deck he's had for 5 years. As he should. Can't knock a boomer for playing their desired cards. Alright. So I really need to swap this this Channeler into like a Shadow really quickly. Like if I can spin the Channeler, ditch something, and find a Shadow and be able to like play Shadow, dismember my own Shadow, I can close out the game extremely quickly. Guess we're bolting our opponent and just like not feeling great about it. But like Thought Seizes that we hit are live. Back in my day, your deck wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds against main deck Kolaghan's Command. Whoa. Back in my day, your deck wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds against Putrid Leech, Bituminous Blast into Bloodbraid Elf, Broodmate Dragon, 4 Terminate, Great Sable Stag. Alright, deck. Shadow. Almost. Again, close. It's like Shadow adjacent. So with an untapped land, they can Titan next turn. Don't think there's a whole lot we can do about that. Back when Jund first became an archetype, before I played any Jund, I played a lot of blue-white control. And it was really sweet against the Jund decks because you just got to, like, Spreading Seas all of their, like, come into play tapped lands that they had to fix their mana base with. Then eventually just drop down, like, a Jace the Mind Sculptor or a Baneslayer Angel or something. But yeah. What you got? 4 main deck terminates? Dang. Never mind. Is this a boomer talk now? This is always a boomer talk. It's like some of the best Magic. It was back before these primeval titans became a thing. Am I the boomer? Or all the boomer? Except Kevin. Kevin's out here playing like Toskies and Abzan. Like some fancy zoomer. But I guess it's Toski with Lingering Souls, so it's like some unholy amalgamation of Boomer and Zoomer. Kevin confirmed as the Boomer. Not gonna lie, I played Toski for the clout. I'm a sellout. I mean, I don't think I've lost to an Abzan Toski deck, but I give you all the credit in the fact that I have played against the deck multiple times. So, whether or not you did it for the clout, game recognized game, and people were at least trying it out. So, kudos for having more success in making something mainstream than I ever could. Alright, Valakut Bog. Not the worst. Shadow. 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 Hey. We're doing things. We're doing things. Maybe. Oh wait, no, now our opponent just goes and gets their Field of the Dead with their Primeval Titan, and we don't actually have a chance because they just make like 1 billion zombies, and can never beat that card. Come on. Summoner's Pact. Summoner's Pact for Dryad of the Legion Grove. Potentially. So I know they have a Boros Garrison in hand, which means if they play Dryad, play Garrison, trigger Valakut, I believe I have to respond to that. I know I don't die with like double Dryad triggers here. Alright, so this is much better for me. I'm no expert, but I think they were supposed to play the their land pre-combat, because then they would know if I have an answer to the Dryad or not. Like, right now, I'm losing to second Dryad in hand. But I wasn't beating that anyway. Alright, so I would like to dismember the Dryad, paying 2 life. Valakut doesn't do anything. Bounce land picks up. Something. Picks up something. Maybe. Don't think they can really maybe this. Alright, then we'll block a Primeval Titan. Hiya. See what else they got. Engineered explosives would be unfortunate. They do have to pay for Pact next turn. So they have a land drop out of hand. 4 for Pact. They can Pact plus another Titan. Or they can Pact plus another Titan if they have an untapped green source. Or just a green source in general in hand. But it does not look like I've got a Titan in my future. All right. Game 1 goes to the good guys. What do we got for game 2? Stabbing Sphere is great. Disdainful Stroke's great. Kick Command's okay. EE and Mana Leak are both okay. Mana Leak good. I'd still say like Mana Leak alright. Good might be a bit of a bit extreme. Mana Leak serviceable. How about that? Alright, what are your thoughts on the Delver build of Shadow? I don't think it's good. I think it has potential and could be good if refined in the future. I don't think the current build is good. And I'm pretty sure the guy who piloted it to the challenge win even came out and said, like, hey, I got really lucky with this over the course of the event. So you have to keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're evaluating those lists. I played it through 3 leagues and was pretty underwhelmed with it. I just don't think it's I don't think the current list is doing anything strong enough to be sustainable in Modern. Like, sometimes you tempo out your opponent and it's cool, but you can't win from behind, like, at all. And kind of like the Rakdos decks, you really don't win unless you see Scourges and Shadows. Like, Delver is just not that good of a threat in Modern. How's Channeler been performing? I think Channeler's been pretty good. Like that additional threat that you can always play out on turn 2, where something like Scourge you might not be able to. I think gives Channeler a big boost in playability. Love Channeler's art. Channeler's art is pretty sweet. Opponent's hand is not great. Like, part of me wants to take a Zusa so they can't ramp. Part of me wants to take Explorer to cut out the draw. Part of me wants to take Dismember. I think I'm just going to take the Dismember so I can land like a turn 2 Shadow or Channeler or something. If they had a Titan in hand, it might change up my decision a bit, or like a Summoner's Pact or something, but I'm kind of playing to get down turn 2 Channeler, then maybe like flip an extra Disdainful Stroke or something into another land, get Shadow big enough to Battle Rage. Yes, now I get to do it all. Draw another Dismember. So if they go Azusa, bounce land, replay a land from hand, they'll have access to 2, 4, 5, 6 mana, potentially 7. Alright. So that is within acceptable parameters to just jam down a Shadow. I just have to make sure that I'm not tapping off of Disdainful Stroke on a turn where they can get down turn Timber. At this point, I'm actually convinced discard spells are bugged in MTGO. I mean, the thoughts... Did they draw a third Dismember? They drew a third Dismember? What the heck? Alright, so if they go... Float. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Float. Bounce land. Pick up turn timber. They could Titan, but they can't Symbiosis. Let's get down Channeler. I didn't even know Titan decks, like, ran this many Dismembers. I don't think I've ever seen 3 Dismembers out of a Titan deck before. Yep. Top list on Goldfish has 3 Dismembers. One of Azusa, 3 Dismembers. Dryad is fine. The second list has got 0 Dismembers. The third list has got 0 Dismembers. Fourth has got 3. Fifth has got 3. So I have no idea what the average Titan deck looks like at the moment. Huh. Interesting. Alright, so let's try to flip into a land. Can't play that. False Prophet, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Pact is fine. That's a big counterspell target. So their last card in hand is the Symbiosis, Turn Timber Symbiosis. I'm gonna go pretty hard on finding a threat here this turn. Mainly because they have to pay for Pact on theirs. So I feel like if I get down a threat this turn, I'm in much better shape. Thank you. It's 23:45 in Germany, so 7 or 6 hours ahead. It's not too bad. Guess I always thought it was more than that for some reason. Though I should have known because we've got a bunch of German players that hang out here. Damping Sphere is pretty funny here. This turns their potential 2, 4, 5, 6 mana into 4. Would I rather Damping Sphere or Disdainful Stroke? Probably just Damping Sphere. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Jaeger's from Germany. I think, I want to say Wagner's from Germany as well. And then Mystical Pot, who used to hang out a lot here, is from Germany. I think it's like one of the more represented countries in our little country tab. That's still up. Yeah, countries of the world. You can see where most of our viewers are from. Barbados, Hong Kong, Spain. There's Germany. So sweet. It's amazing how many, like, European players love Death Shadow. The big angry fish. Thank you so much for the follow. The timing is perfect. Get followed by the big angry fish. Alright, so if they don't block, they die. If they block, we can't battle rage for lethal. So there's not really a reason to battle rage if they do block. If they don't, we'd be dead to, like, or not dead, but we'd be kind of halted by like an additional dismember. But since they're blocking, I'm just going to let them take their block, move on. So like I said, we wouldn't have killed them with a battle rage, so there's really not much of a reason to throw one out there. Additional Dryad is fine. Alright. Now I do believe we're going to battle rage. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. I feel like I'm getting a German geography lesson in my chat. Love it. I have no idea where like any of these cities are, but I'm going to learn. Never been there for magic, but often to party. Is that what Germany is? It's just one big party? Almost missed my match. Off mate, good to see you streaming and speaking some love for our little big boys. Continue the streams. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Always glad to have the support here. Against a Luris deck. Don't really want a mulligan here. Any hopes or expectations for Modern Horizons 2? Next time let me win in the challenges, but I forgive you. I'll consider it. I can't guarantee anything, but I will take it into consideration to let you win. Any considerations for Modern Horizons 2? I guess my big ones be like, I want to see a completion of the Canopy Land cycle. But I want to say they already said they weren't doing that. I think Fetchland reprints would be welcomed by like the majority of the community. So I think that would be fine. What else? Fetchlands, Canopy Lands. Alright. I'll get into it in a little more detail after I play a couple spells here. But what I liked about Modern Horizons 1, and I feel like it often goes really under the radar, is they made a bunch of really cool card designs that took existing effects that were like playable to really good in like Legacy, and they worked on like trying to port them over. And some examples would be like Pondering Mage, the Cabal Therapist, some of the spells like that. I think it's a really cool idea. I think that they could work those effects into a more streamlined version, and they would be really cool and modern. Like a 2 and a blue Pondering Mage, instead of making it like 5 mana or something unplayable like that. Or a Cabal Therapist that, I don't know, you could sack any time instead of on your upkeep. I just feel like there's a lot of design space there that they could have explored a little bit more. And just like didn't. I believe they said fetches are being reprinted at rare in Modern Horizons 2. Enemy ones, I think. Yeah, like I'm always for enemy colored Fetchland reprints. I think those are ridiculously expensive for what they are. Alright, so I think my big plan from here this game is just to like counter anything that says not so much Vigilance, but I guess Vigilance is a little annoying here. But like Daybreak Coronet. Can't let them have Daybreak Coronet. Because I cannot deal with a pro creature dude that's gaining as much as it's as much as it is and swinging through my creatures with Vigilance. Like, can't do that. Speak of the devil. So that means best draw here is probably Snapcaster. So I think that's just lethal. Or second Battle Rage. Alright. So if I go Blood Crypt, attack for 6, 12, 17. Block a shadow, take 11. Makes bolt lethal. hold on. Gotta find car keys. Alright, so Blood Crypt, attack with everything. Does that mean I'm dead to anything on the crackback? I'm going to 7. Daybreak puts us up to a 5/5. So like Daybreak plus what's it called? I would be dead too. The 1 mana +1/+1 for each enchantment. Every time you say that card's name, they play it. I know my luck. That's what it is. Like, Ethereal Armor. Yes, that one. Could just be dead to an Ethereal Armor plus something else anyway. Maybe I should have thought about that more. I definitely should have thought about that more. Like, I saw an Umbra. I know I'm not dead to that, but I'm pretty sure I'm dead to, like, Ethereal Armor would be 4. So, like, double Ethereal Armor I'm dead to. That I don't think I would have been if I had... I'm going to take a guess and say they didn't have it. Maybe they weren't thinking about it and shocked in and that killed them, but I don't think they had it there. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I just didn't want them to have a tough time getting in.
Shave on some of this removal. I don't mind keeping in like a Dismember, and I'd rather have bolts than pushes, just because I can go to my own face and grow shadows, like inside of combat or whenever. What do you think the chances of Brainstorm or Ponder coming to Modern in Modern Horizons 2? Like, you mean just like unbanning one of them and then bringing it into the format? I can't imagine if they were going to bring a cantrip into the format that Brainstorm is where they would start at. Because, like, if you've already decided that Ponder and Preordain are too good for Modern, I can't imagine just skipping over and going to Brainstorm is, like, your acceptable alternative. They can, like, try to post combat, throw enchantments on things. It seems like not great. Part of me wants to get Gurmag down here. Part of me is terrified that if they just, like, follow up my Gurmag with Daybreak Cornet or something, it's going to be rough. So I'm going to go Channeler. So if they have, like, Path, they can Path my Channeler. And I get to untap and play Gurmag plus hold up Mana Leak. Think Modern needs something better. You mean like a better cantrip? I think the only better cantrip they could consider unbanning is like Preordain. I don't think Modern's the place where you want any of the other ones. This Daybreak. God. Alright, Channeler, I need you to find me a shadow. Like, now. I guess engineered explosives wouldn't be the worst. I guess. Van Haler, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. So, playing Shadow and just passing so I can hold up Mana Leak here. Ethereal Armor makes this 1, 2, 3, 9. So Ethereal Armor is fine. Dryad Arbor is fine. Path to Exile is not fine. Only trying to bait out my counter spells. Give him an A for effort. Alright, so I could, like, bolt the Dryad Arbor or my opponent's face. Perfect. So now we can go attack with Shadow. We're going to bolt Dryad Arbor, attack with Shadow. It's like one of the things I need to do here is close out the game. They can block this with Glade Cover if they want. I'd be pretty okay with that. Maybe they just want to throw this slippery bogle in front of it. You'd be pretty okay with that as well. Nope. Alright, so I'm gonna play out this Scalding Tarn. I don't think... Like, if they draw second Daybreak, second Ethereal Armor, Griff's Boon, it, like, doesn't matter. That's good. I'm not bluffing Stub here. I'm planning on ditching this Gurmag Angler to Channeler. Like, Gurmag Angler doesn't do anything on the board against the 9/7 First Strike Lifelinker. Wonder if there's any reason they didn't add Lurrus to their hand there. So I attack with my 2 shadows. Yeah, they have to block both or they die to the bolt. They have to block with the slippery bogle or they die to the bolt. I think that's the correct block out of them. Alright. 2-0 against Bogles is pretty weird to be at. One more blocker if they draw a path or enchantment. If they draw a path or enchantment removal, like, I'm dead to the big trampling Bogle anyway. Doesn't matter if I have another blocker or not. The big Y. I think it's correct to play around the aura, which is full in their deck. But what I'm saying is playing around an aura doesn't do anything for us. If they hit an aura, we're not winning that game, right? Because then they're just going aura, attack you with a big Bogle. We have to block. They're gaining the life. Now their Bogle's bigger than our shadows. And they just get to attack freely every turn. Like, we're never winning that game. So like I'm still liking my play of just holding up the ability to ditch the Gurmag Angler the next turn and try to like force my opponent into a dead block. If he draws a +1/+1 aura, then it goes up to 10. The ethereal armor makes it an 11. I guess they could still... I don't know. It's so narrow to me. Like, I still think I'd rather not play out the Gurmag Angler and try to have the extra card to ditch to like a Battle Rage or something. Like, the only +1/+1 enchantments in the deck are like, what's it called? Totem armors, right? Alright, so Brett, yeah, Dredge is pretty rough for us here. We kind of like have to hit a shadow here, or we probably die. All right, step one. Opponent's got an Ox of Agonis in their yard that they can get back here. Maybe they'll be nice and just like throw down Conflagrate or Burning Inquiry or something instead of Oxing. See, Philip, your suggestion would give you another turn, then you die, or you can go for the win. So that's kind of the route I was thinking. Like, I think playing the blocker is like the playing to not die next turn route. But I just think if they draw anything, like we're not winning, or we don't have a chance to win. So, like, I needed to play out the fetch so that I could lower my life total to 1 to make the shadow as big as possible. I needed to hold the bolt because it was going to be the only way that I could potentially throw out lethal next turn without a Battle Rage. Alright, how dead am I to Bloodghast? Berry? Alright. Spell Bombs for sure. Cling to Dust for sure. Mana Leak's good against Ox. Plague Engineer's pretty okay, surprisingly. Getting Stinkweeds to 0 power is really nice. Pushes are pretty bad. Dismembers are eh. My line, not let you die on his opponent's turn. If opponent gets an aura. If our opponent draws an aura, we're functionally dead, right? Because they've got the big first striking Bogle. They can attack into us freely. Like, it has to be an aura that doesn't give totem armor and doesn't give more than +1/+1. I don't love it, but I do like being able to interact with like Burning Inquiry and stuff early. Alright, we need to find Shadow. So step 1 is complete. We have assembled Shadow plus Battle Rage. Now we just have to get from where we're at to having them dead on board. Is that a no value Life from the Loam? Or no, they had 2 lands. I just didn't see them. Whoops. Alright. Don't have a lightning axe, please. And show me the Xaxes. Alright. Game 3. Not really anything I want to swap around. Like maybe on the draw I could just bring in the extra Street Wraiths and try to go all in on getting Shadow plus Battle Rage. Probably fine. Like I'm absolutely saying in this matchup, without either Spell Bomb or Shadow plus Battle Rage, you're probably not winning. Here we just get the metaphorical anti-Dredge nuts. Are the Mana Leaks sideboard or main board? It's 2 in the sideboard. Arctic, I don't think that's going to give you the information you're trying to find here. Don't haggle me, please. Pretty sure I scried you to the bottom. Can't confirm. Alright, one is fine. I guess I'm fine with the Dismember. I'll just like help make sure that this Shadow is lethal. Now I'm sad that it did not have a link to. It's not that kind of live stream, unfortunately. Not enough subscriptions for that service. Am I just like going ahead and popping this Spell Bomb? I feel like I am. It's like I'm just trying to not have the game go on much longer. Spaz coming in with the 5 gifted. We're still not turning it into that kind of live stream before anybody gets the wrong impression. But thank you so much. Welcome. Who do we have? Ill-Fated, Pardo, Horsefather, David Byer, Ocean Infinity. Welcome everybody to the subscribers. Enjoy access to our sweet Death Shadow custom emotes. Squatting Jaeger, going to sleep. Wish you all a good night, day. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. I appreciate all of the continued support. Welcome to all our new subscribers. Alright, so Thug is fine. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and dismember this. Emotes are nice, by the way. Good job on those. Well, it's definitely thanks to our artist. There's a link right down below that says, like, support our emote artist, Jill. She's a local graphic designer and does some fantastic work on the emotes. So if you ever need any sort of, like, any sort of custom work done, any, what's the word for it? Any commissions. She does really awesome art. Highly recommend the channel. Alright, so what's my biggest concern here? I guess, like, I don't really need to shock the Blood Crypt here and put myself down to, like, double chill range. So if I don't have to do it, why would I? Trying to get you a little bit closer. I mean, we're getting really close to, like, opening up a bunch of new emote slots, which is really cool. Because we've got some that are, like, our Tier 2 emotes. Tier 2 and Tier 3. For instance, Scourge of the Skyclaves and Embrith Paladin are both, like, Tier 2 and Tier 3. Just because we don't have enough emote slots yet. But as that number grows and we open up those slots to Tier 1, then I'll be able to, like, unlock them for everybody. Because right now I just kind of, like, rotate through them periodically so everyone gets access to all the emotes eventually. But as we get more subscribers, we'll unlock all of them for everyone and get some new ones. Who knows what the new ones are going to be. Like, how far away are we from another slot unlock? We are six subscribers away from unlocking another, I think it's another Tier 1 slot. So we can add, like, Scourge or Paladin to the mix. After that, I have no idea how many it is until we can add the next one. But we'll get there when we get there. I would love to play first. So this is like the quintessential, if we hit Death Shadow, this hand is fantastic hand. I really thought opponent was going to have the turn 1 no land go. Burn. Not burn again. My hand is not particularly good against burn. And when I say not particularly good, I mean, like, pretty bad against burn. Especially if we're not seeing our second land. Come on, Goblin Guy, do your thing. Gurmag Angler. Magmatic Angler is not a second land. It's not a bad one. Alright. No. No. Ugh. In a perfect world, if we'd had a threat in our opening hand, we could have been a lot more aggressive with our life total early. It's like we had Stubborn Denials, Battle Rage, just needed to find like a shadow. But here, yeah, I don't think we're drawing out of this one. Couldn't draw like both a Death Shadow and a fetch land for a black source in one turn. Alright. Let's get a better hand for game 2. But since we got the gifted sub, I'll do my second little call to action for the day. Thanks everybody so much. Thanks Spaz for the gifted subs. Thanks to all our new subscribers for hanging around and checking out the content. If you're enjoying the channel, feel free to hit the follow button. Doesn't cost you anything, just lets you know whenever we go live, so you can come check out some sweet Death Shadow action. We've also got all of our leagues being uploaded individually to YouTube. If you haven't checked out the channel yet, let me pull that up real quick. We've got a new YouTube channel that's got all of our uploads broken down into individual leagues. Everything's like time stamped. We've got results showing. Really easy to keep up with. There's a link down below to that channel. So, highly recommend checking it out. That's all I got. That's my call to action. It's not the most exciting call to action in the world. I think I'm going to be pretty conservative here. Like, fetch out a basic and Inquisition. Well, I've got this Magmatic Angler in hand, and if I can get to it pretty quickly, I can start putting pressure on my opponent and, like, force them to throw spells at my face. And if I do that, then I feel like there's a much better chance, once they have to start aggressively doing stuff for fear of dying, that I get to drop down Shadow and close the game out. Alright, so it took Boros Charm because it's the most potential damage that my opponent can do to me right there. And I'm just trying to, like, Fatal Push an Eidolon, or I guess Lightning Bolt now, and get Magmatic Angler down. I'm probably still Fatal Pushing, but I don't mind drawing the Lightning Bolt. Or, nah, we'll get rid of the Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's not bad, but I think I would rather draw another piece of Hand Disruption or a Stubborn Denial because of, like, Deflecting Palm. Eidolon. Oh my god, I never saw it coming. But I can just add my Luris from my hand. Alright, so let's go basic island. We'll leave Fatal Push and Inquisition. Speak of the devil. Don't deflecting palm me. You got it. No, deflecting palm. My only weakness. Here's a shadow. Here's another shadow. Curse you, deflecting palm. Alright, so we know Lightning Helix, Basic Mountain, 3 unknowns. Very easy for them to have enough lethal burn strung together to kill me. But if they don't, so am I going for it here? Going for it means I'm dead to 3 instant speed burn spells. So like Helix, Bolt. I'm not dead to 2. Big sneeze. Sappy thinks I play it safe. I think I go for it. Because, like, with double Shadow out, he'd be incentivized to, like, hold creatures or hold, sorcery speed burn spells. So there's a decent chance that there's, like, 1 or 2 of those stuck in hand. But this, like, has to be Helix plus a spell plus a spell. So Charm is fine. Still has to be Bolt. Can't be just Helix. Last unknown card has to be another Lightning Bolt, specifically. Alright. Yeah. Like, it had to be 3 instant speed burn spells that he could cast off of his 4 lands So it had to be a 2-mana spell like Helix plus exactly Bolt Bolt. Couldn't be like Helix plus Skullcrack or Helix plus another Deflecting Palm or something like that. So I don't think it was necessarily like super safe to go for it. But I think if we pass the turn and he gets another untap, we just like aren't winning from there. I love this music. So much of it's just like old video game tunes remastered. No blocks, opponent. Not a single one. Gossamer Glen, spicy. Spicy the way that game ended, or spicy this hand? Or both. Just right to go. There's no way we would get the turn back. I agree. The full send. I mean, we just had to like close out the game, right? Like, it's a narrow list of cards that they had to have that killed us there. So I'm definitely not against the call to go for it. Alright, I'm fine taking one off of this. Ideally, I would like to just Thought Scour end of turn. And try to find second land for these shadows. Always have Eidolon. Second land. Sweet. Alright. Like, am I going Swamp, play Shadow? Am I going Pass with Mana Leak? If they have, like, second Eidolon, Pass with Mana Leak, Terminate is great. If they don't have second Eidolon, then they're probably just going to, like, attack for one, pass back. Alright. 4 cards in hand. Missed a land drop. Pretty terrifying. This Rift Bolt is going at Shadow. I can bolt myself to save the Shadow. Which means it's dead to another burn spell. I can respond to this by bolting their Swift Spear. And if they like bolt upstairs to save Swift Spear, then Shadow outgrows the Rift Bolt. If they point another burn spell at the Shadow to save the Swift Spear, then I just dodged like 6 points of burn right there. Okay. I'd really like to see two shock lands in a row here that I could just like play out tapped. The reason being, I would like to get to double counterspell mana, and if I got two more that I could play out tapped without losing life, I could get to Cling to Dust mana. And if I were able to like recur a Cling twice, I think that would pretty well be GG's. I don't want you dealing with my Shadow, if you don't mind. Could have another Path to Exile here. Gonna say I would be very much appreciative if this was another bolt to my face. Alright, so this puts them to 14. They bolt me end of turn. Shadow becomes an 8/8. Yep. That means best case scenario would be they cast an Eidolon here and pass the turn. They got double bolt, they got double bolt. But I'm trying to set myself up to have like a go for it opportunity if I just draw like a fetch land here. What can I beat? What can I not beat? Does that mean I have to mana leak this and let him have the path? So I think I just have to let him have the path if he goes for that. Or if he goes for that first. This is the big brain upkeep path. Upkeep path plus burn spell. Why would you do that off the Sunbaked Canyon? I don't know why he would path off of the Sunbaked Canyon instead of path off the Vantage there. What is going on? I have no idea. I'm just trying to survive to cling to dust. That's my goal in life right now. If I find a Gurmag Angler or something in the meantime, sweet. But I'm just trying to survive to that. Which I didn't really expect to get to turn 9. Not see the 4th land. Like, he can't crack fetch lands or anything if he's got 2 mana spells. Does, by all technicalities, give me the 4th land. Opponent misplayed, and is it 1 with full 2 mana burn spells? It's possible. Using the Stubborn Denial there, since the mana leaks can counter like an Eidolon. Now, I think I'm just supposed to main phase these. Maybe not, because if they have like Swift Spear plus Bolt or something, I'm dead. But if I have to sit here and like play around Bolt from now until the end of time, I'm dead anyway. Goblin Guide Bolt. Goblin Guide, Skewer, Goblin Guide. Just about anything. Goblin Guide Pass is not it. Is the name of this song actually Lavamancer? That's fantastic. This has been the weirdest game ever. There's Eidolon. They gotta have like a bolt, right? Do not. So we're just going snap bolt here, right? Snap bolt, hold up mana leak. And I don't think there's anything they can do. Snap bolt. Bolt you. Opponent going out on their own terms. Respect. What the heck just happened? Is this Shadow or Grixis control? Yes. Yes it is. Oh, man. I don't even know what to think about that match. Follow up, or wrap up. 4-1 with Grixis Shadow. Really fun time. Like, we saw the power of Stubborn Denial there. Gurmag Angler in some tight spots. And then really showed off Shadow plus Battle Rage. Like in a lot of the other builds, Shadow is like a 4-4, a 5-5 is nice, is like a complement to Gurmag Angler and Scourge. But in this deck, Shadow is like a 10-10, 11-11, 12-12 with Battle Rage and Stubborn Denial protecting you is a whole different ball game. Like we saw having to get that low against Bogles, got that low against Burn whether we wanted to or not. Having access to Snapcasters, little extra interaction, huge. Out of the sideboard, Mana Leaks performed really well. Disdainful Stroke was great against Amulet Titan. We still didn't see any like Kozilek's Return Plague Engineer matchups. I think we brought in Plague Engineer against Bogles as well as EE, but we didn't see any Auriok champions. Notably, Grixis is significantly weaker to Auriok champion than like 4-color and Jundar, because having Tarmogoyf to attack through is a huge upside. Cling to Dust was solid that league. Spellbomb, we ran into Dredge. Damping Sphere was good against Amulet Titan. Overall, I think the list was solid. I don't have any real major adjustments to it. Obviously, we'll put some thought into it anyway, especially with some of the premier events coming up this weekend. Like we've got the challenge on yeah, there we go. The challenge on Saturday, challenge on Sunday. We'll kind of figure out tomorrow what we're going to play for those events.